Well, good morning.
Good morning.
In our prayers, we were saying what a beautiful, glorious day it is today, and it really is. And if you'd love to close your eyes and just think of yourself, go into your Sacred Heart area. And that Sacred Heart area is filled with light, and that light is what I call God. And as the ego meets God, let's just let the ego rest in God. Let that light shine through the entire body, through your arms, through every part of your body, all the way down to your feet, up through your head. That light is God. That light is that healing, that loving, that understanding, that great understanding. And we're here today to find out more about that great understanding about God and all the attributes that is God. Those are the attributes in each of us as we develop and learn and grow, and our skills are more available for any situation whenever we need them. And so today, as we just center into that light, that love, knowing that each one of us is totally and completely special, a wonderful expression of God. So dare to love yourself. Dare to have the love within you spread across the globe, because that's exactly what's going to happen. And so as we bask a little longer in this light that is God, that has all the wonderful attributes, just know how important each and every one of us is. Dare to say, I love myself. Dare to say, I am God. And with joy and anticipation, we come back into the room, and together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Mary. That was beautiful. I dare you to love me. How about that? I dare myself, and I love myself. Do you feel like singing? In the stillness. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. In the stillness of this moment,
now. And there is only one beautiful energy, a great understanding, that one power, that one peace. The responder to me whenever I need something. This responder is also called the Christ consciousness. It is everywhere. It works through each of us. It gives almost immediate answers. So surprisingly, so quickly, sometimes unexpectedly, but it is God. And the more I trust in this God, the quicker it seems to answer. I am a part of this great consciousness, this God that knows and does and says and gives everything, this God that is behind everything. I'm part of that too. And just as I am part of that, each one here and everywhere, all beings are a part of this great, beautiful consciousness. And sometimes, when I realize that I am in the midst of God energy because I am in a crowd, it expands in me. I hope it expands in everyone. Each and every one of us is a part of God, and knowing that God can do anything, God is everything, we should be able to do that too. And with practice, and with declarations, we use that energy, that God energy. We use it for healing, for good deeds, for expressing our wonderful energies. And I declare for each one of us, higher consciousness every day, expanded sacred heart love and light every day. I expand awareness of global events and how I can help by sending my love, God's love, around the globe. It's just so important what I do, what each and every one of us does. The more we can do, the better it will work. And so I declare this never-ending flow of love through each of us, through every being, and through around this entire globe, hoping that peace is the result. I give my words to this wonderful law, this aspect of God that does the work for me. When I can't, God can. And I'm so grateful to know that we have this law, and we have this God, and this energy and frequency that responds. And it does it in the right way, and sometimes in really surprising ways, but I'm so happy that it does that. And I'm so surprised and excited when I recognize it. And so, with happiness and with joy and with gratitude, I release this prayer, I release these words to the law, knowing it is done and knowing it is complete. And together we say, and so it is.
Wow, Aaron, Joe, on fire. It's beautiful. The more we do, the more good we do, the better we will be.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all by myself. Well, I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand right there. And now I can see if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day. We've got to let it go, let it all go, yeah. And this is what you have to say. I'll be released, come on, and I let it go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. 'Cause I'm only here for God. Oh, no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. Come on.
while you're standing, if you're comfortable, please say with me, God bless America and the rest of the world. And if you would just turn to a neighbor and just say hello, welcome. Oh my goodness, did you all? This is a great Sunday. I'm seeing faces that I haven't seen in a little bit. I've talked to them, I've emailed them, and then they show up. Or I talked about them, and they show up. Yes, isn't that awesome? I know. Hi. I think I've covered everybody. Hi, Miss Gail. Hi, Miss Sylvia. Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Reverend Anna's here. Yeah. And did I say I'm Reverend Cheryl Bell? Yeah. Co-senior minister here with my sister Reverend Stacy Hilton and Reverend Dan Jerome, who is on a little bit of a hiatus. And I'm just knowing that he is taking very good care of himself. Yes, and with saying that, I wanted to read what we believe, just because I was feeling it this morning. This is almost a little summary, so it's not every little thing, but we believe in God, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. This one manifests itself in and through all creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of God's nature. We believe in the incarnation of the Spirit in all people. We believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul forever and ever expanding. We believe that heaven is within us. We experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. We believe the ultimate goal of life is to be a complete emancipation from all discord, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. We believe in the unity of all life. The highest God and the innermost God is one God. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth. Anyone. We believe that the universal spirit, God, operates through a universal mind, the law of God. We are surrounded by this creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thoughts and acts upon it. We believe in the healing of the sick and the control of conditions through the power of this mind. We believe in the goodness, loving kindness, and givingness of life to all. We believe in our own soul, our own spirit, and our own destiny. For we understand that the life of each one is God. And that's what we believe here at this center. And pretty much through all of CSL, really. But these are what we believe was written by our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind and Spirit. And I wanted to, I just felt like I needed to tell you all that today. We have copies of this out on the table every week. If you ever want to just pick one up and take it home with you. What was that? Was I supposed to be doing something different? Oh my goodness. He was just, he's giving you an intro. Oh, okay. Well, if you're here for the first time, or you feel like I don't have your number or your email address, please sign our guest book out in the Grand Hall. I promise not to stalk you or anything like that. And
I like when you stalk.
I know you do. I stalk Patty.
I like it.
But my stalking is more like praise, like praising you. I know. Sometimes, yeah, this is true. We had the pleasure of riding along and picking up the teens from camp yesterday. Oh my God, it was quite a long day. And I watched some of the YouTube, some of the Facebook things, and it was so cute. My favorite was they were coming out, not that I watched every single thing they did, but they were coming out, was it the Peace Center? The Peace Center, and they all had these, those candy rings with the big candy rings, the ring pops, And at first I was concerned because the first little girl I was listening to, she said, "Oh, I came to camp and got married." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh shoot, what are they doing?" So I waited and listened to it again, watched the whole thing. I'm like, "Okay, phew." But we are talking about teens. I'm sorry. I told you I feel, And so what they had done was they had married their higher self. Isn't that awesome? So I don't know what the vows were, but I can imagine, and so can you. But I would like for one of our favorite teens, Charlie, to come up and tell us a little bit about camp.
Well, hi, I'm Charlie. This whole week from camp was honestly amazing. My intention was to become someone I love to call Enchanted Charlie. And yeah, what Reverend Cheryl said, we married our higher selves, and our vows were basically, I promised to, small things of whatever you wanted, I said, short and sweet, to promise to always take care and love you. We talked about our favorite memory with the higher self, why we love our highest self, and it was so cool because there's whole ceremonies that just married, and the our auditioners were there, and everyone was dressed up. I was like, "Oh, it's so cool!" The director of the camp, Steve, married me. I'm like, "Oh, big deal." But it was really fun. We had cake after, even though the ring pops are not that good. But
I didn't know. I was gonna go buy one. Thank
you. These workshops is really the whole theme was grow through it, and I have the camp shirt. And we've really focused on self-confidence and our self-love, our self-growth, and it really touched me because there's a day of empowerment night of you have 3 choices of it's about intimacy with yourself, with others, or with spirit. I personally chose with myself. Only because I think before anything, if you want to connect with spirit, it's kind of you have to be okay with yourself to wanting to be with spirit. And it's such a great feeling of, every morning you feel so loved no matter what, and it's, even coming off the mountain, it's kind of hard to say, we're in the real world now, not everyone is like that. But, I think every individual teen, including myself, has the goal to spread that love, even in the real world. Oh yeah, but those workshops were really great, that there's a lot of things involved in trusting, things involving of just affirming who you want to be. And obviously the whole week I just wanted to say, I'm Enchanted Charlie. All I said. And, I apparently attracted so much light, and someone told me something called A's and B's, which is everyone have grab a partner, B's go in the middle, and they receive love. They can't give out love, and the B's will be giving out the love to the A's, and then switch. Someone told me that I was put in a situation, and I apparently inspired them to the love that I brought to them, which opened their eyes to want me to do what I do. And it was an adult that I heard from the voice. And I broke. And there's a lot of crying. It was a hot mess all week. But that that really showed to me that, you know, not only me, but anyone can inspire anyone. Like, just with your words, a simple smile, just anything you could do just to, like, bring someone's day. And yeah, there's something called, we did something different, which is 1 and 2s, which is you can't give them physical love, but you can give them verbally love. So you have to put your hands behind your back and tell them, you know, anything you wanted. You know, say, I love you, you know, just like, mostly what I said to anyone that said, keep thriving, and I like broke someone when I said that. Oops, like they started really crying, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. But you know, that is like with anyone here in this room, or even out in this whole world, so always keep thriving, and you shouldn't ever give up on anything, even if you're on that block, no matter what age you are, doesn't matter how old you are. But just like, you should always keep thriving, no matter what. Just like, they shouldn't have a block, you know. First thing for camp, I fought with masks. I didn't have a mask anymore. I just, my enchanted self, my magical self, that I believe that you all, though, are enchanted yourself. And, you know, I really hold my words, and my goal in life is to, like, you spread that love. Show that love to everyone. And for me, I want to do that with music. So, since words and music is such a connection that everyone would have nowadays. But not only to really say my story, but to also really express that there is unconditional love anywhere you go. Love is infinite. We even had a workshop over that, if you think it's finite or infinite. I personally believe it's always infinite, but you have to believe in yourself. Sometimes you feel yourself that it isn't, because this world is kind of not so great right now. It seems to be so limited to the point of people don't care. There's so much hatred, and you know, I wish that people would love to be open to this teaching, not just to this teaching, but maybe just love in general. And you know, again, I love you guys, and I really appreciate the support and support. Appreciate it, and I wish Isabel was here, because this was her first summer camp. And that kid is like such a bright light. And, but again, I really appreciated all the support and love, the fundraising that you've given us, because there's not a lot of teens like me who would be able to go through these things and have the help that I needed, because I really needed that. I've been through a lot. For like the whole summer was a lot.
You're enchanted, Charlie.
Yes, I am. And not just am I enchanted, Charlie. You know, again, we all should be enchanted. Your name is. I love you guys. You know, I just can't help but like say enough of, I really appreciate that. The help that you've given us, all the support, and again, I don't know, many teens don't really get to have this opportunity. So I'm very grateful for opportunities and choices, because a lot of people don't have that. So I'm a grateful teen, a grateful being, and again, I guess for my intro, I am Enchanted Charlie, if you don't know who I am yet. Thank you so much for letting me go through this experience, letting me go through the work that I've been wanting to do. And I think that's about it. Thank you.
Excuse me, Enchanted Charlie. I gotta get it right. Well, thank you all for being here. You know, just so I can remind you that no matter where you are in your spiritual path, even if you're a teen, you're always welcome here. And I appreciate you being here.
See my beautiful Megan out here. Megan's here. Woo! And that's funny, because I was not aware that you were going to be here today, and I remember singing this song last year for you. How funny, and you're here right now. Well, this is about let me just sing it for you. It's about all the amazing things you're going to do. Beautiful song by Jen. be true. I love you.
Everyone get a program this morning, you know? You see on the front page it says freedom is the birthright of every living soul. You know, that's on the very first page of the Science of Mind textbook, right? Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Okay. What? Share. Thank you for translating. The front. I love you. Thank goodness. You know, from the book of the month, chosen by my BFF and co-senior minister, Reverend Stacy Hilton. In October of last year, I believe she chose this. She wrote the outline, The Sun Does Shine by Anthony Ray Hinton. You know, this book is about Anthony Ray Hinton was held in on death row for 30 years of a crime that he did not commit before he was released. And lots of evidence that there's no way he could have done this, but he would, you know, I don't know much about Alabama, except to maybe not pass through there. I mean, this was the 80s. This was the 80s, you know, and he was, I think he was 29, and he worked in a building that, you know, I guess it was locked down, where he has to sign in and out. There was a guard at the desk. The gun was his mother's gun that hadn't been fired in 20-something years. And the ballistic guy was blind in one eye.
Oh my.
I mean, I can't, you know. And that's just the introduction to the book. That's just the introduction. Oh my goodness. But thank you, Stacy. I'm still reading it. You would think I would have read it in October, but I didn't. Reverend Stacy told you a few things a couple of weeks ago, and I may reiterate them. So please, whatever, you don't have to forgive me. I was going to say I don't care, but I want to say, if you recognize it, awesome, you were paying attention. That's what I really meant to say. I know that sounds much better. I know. Well, you know, she talked about in his cell, there was a man next to him that was wailing because he had lost his mother. Now at this point, I'll call him Ray from this point on, had not spoken for 3 years. He hadn't said a word. He was, I don't know, he pretty much at that point chosen, he had just given up. He couldn't believe that this was happening to him. So he didn't speak. However, this man wailing because he lost his mother reminded him that he had a choice, which is the title of, what's my talk title? Living in Choice. And I'm going to quote from the book. He said, I had a choice to reach out to that man or to stay in the dark alone. Even here, I could still be me. I wasn't expecting to end 3 years of silence. It was a revelation to realize that I wasn't the only man on death row. I was born with the same gift from God we all are born with. Right, Charlie? The impulse to reach out and lessen the suffering of another human being. It was a gift. And each has a choice whether to use this gift or not. So at that moment, he made a choice. I believe he made a choice to create a life for himself, even on death row. This is a man who created a book club on death row. He taught men how to read. He allowed his mind to go to those places in those books. how else could he have survived 30 years when you think about it? But when you think about it, I think about Nelson Mandela, who else? Just Viktor Frankl. I mean, the atrocities that they survived and still were able to let their light shine afterwards. Apparently, Ray has become a gifted speaker. He speaks all over the United States about how you can choose differently no matter what your circumstances, no matter what. Another quote, despair was a choice, hatred was a choice, anger was a choice. I still had choices, and that knowledge rocked me. I could choose to give up or hang on. Hope was a choice, faith was a choice, and more than anything else, life was a choice. Compassion was a choice. You know, in our Science of Mind textbook written by our founder, the founder of Science of Mind and Spirit, Dr. Ernest Holmes, chapter 7, page 133, which I usually have it already marked. Someone's talking. I think about Dr. Moore when I said, okay, a hush fell amongst the people. And it still doesn't work for me. It still doesn't work, and I just don't understand. It's okay. Whoever's talking, I love you. Dr. Ernest Holmes talks about choice as well. He said, man's choice, conscious thought, acting through law, may change any condition in his experience, provided he can clearly conceive of such conditions being changed. I think we even talked about it in Reverend Stacy's affirmation class. You know, there is no limit to the law. Limitation is not inherent in the law, but it is a result of man's inability to embody the truth and constructively use the law. Man has at his or her disposal, in what he calls his subjective mind, a power that is limitless. This is because he is one with the whole of life, with all of life. You know, my favorite quote in this entire book, again, it's in the introduction. Is by Brian Stevenson, who was his attorney after he was on death row for 14 years, but it took another 16 years to get him out. My favorite quote is, we need to think about the fact that we are all more than the worst thing we've ever done. We are all better than the worst thing we've ever done. And so that made me think about, for the first time, you know, I heard probably just last year, and I'm sure all of you, you know, probably get around more than me and have heard the quote before, that hurt people hurt people. And I know I thought about that. I was in Dallas, and I just showed up at the Dallas Lvcsl. I was visiting my aunt for her 75th birthday, my mother's baby sister. The peas in the pod, I had to be there. And it was it just so happened to be practitioner day. And this practitioner said that, and I thought about that the rest of the weekend. I was there for a few more days. And can we all agree that that's probably true? Hurt people hurt people. I mean, a baby is not born, you know, with a wish to be on death row, right? Or to be anything but a baby, really. I mean, but, you know, just in preparing even for our fundraiser with Safi, you know, it's, God, I never know what to call them, but they work with finding foster parents for these kids, and some of them are a little troubled, and I think from maybe age, they do a higher age, I think 11 to 18. And the executive director was telling us, you know, in one of our many, many meetings, that it's not a thing about, you think they become that by themselves. You know, it's like a baby. So it could even be mental health in a baby, where, you know, the baby cries, And if no one comes, eventually the baby will stop crying. But it won't even cry anymore for help because, hey, no one came. So can you imagine living that? I mean, going through that as a child, and that's your conditioning? I can't even imagine, being born to a drug-addicted mom, or someone who's a mom that may have been in jail. I mean, just think of what they marinated in. How can they be better than that? Of course, they have to choose, but you can't expect a baby to do that. 3, 4, 5-year-old, can you? It's us. We have to nurture them, right, Charlie? And let them know that they are love and light. But if you hear every day that you're not, I think you'll believe it, right? You're gonna believe it. No one comes when you cry and you're helpless. You can't feed yourself. She said there are so many signs of mental, and I never thought of depression or PTSD or any of that as a mental health issue, but it is. Yeah, I mean, I'm talking from my ignorance of mental health. Some of you know my niece Alana is in a treatment facility for depression in southern Utah, and she is doing fabulously. And it's been a challenge for me. Obviously, this is a learning process, a learning curve for me. And you do the best you can. I know that. And if you don't know to go, I don't know how you don't know to go to the baby when the baby's crying, though. I'm sorry. But if you have a problem, I can see maybe no one came when you cried. I don't know. I love, this also made me think of my mom. But, Einstein said that you cannot solve a problem at the same consciousness that created the problem. Racism cannot be solved at the same level of belief. I mean, you could go on, homophobia, abuse. I could go on forever. We don't have all day, though. I believe that things were created at a certain level of understanding, belief, and consciousness, and if we are to make these thought forms and beliefs which cause a certain type of behavior to become extinct, then we must elevate. We must rise above it and expand our own consciousness to an awareness that has no need for that energy whatsoever, for those ways of thinking. And it must begin within our own minds before you can expect, or before we can even expect to create a world that works for everyone. We have to start with you. That's how it made me think of my mom, because my mom recited a poem on stage one day. Reverend Cynthia, probably she was in class, and my mother loved poetry. And the poem she recited was Maya Angelou's Still I Rise. And I thought about showing her doing that, and I thought I wouldn't be able to talk anymore. So I didn't think I could get through that. And I'm knowing I wrote this down right, but I want to recite it, and I hope I do it justice. And I just remember seeing her, I could see her doing it, and even her little gestures, even though she was nervous as all get out, just so you all know. But she did good. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may tread me in the dirt, but still, like dust, I rise. This is what she did. Does my sassiness upset you? Why? And everybody laughed. And why are you beset with gloom? Because I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room, just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hopes standing high, still I'll rise. Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my hauntingness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, because I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. I rise, I rise, I rise. Woo! So yeah, she did that little sassiness. Oh my goodness. I mean, she would only do that for Reverend Cynthia. I'm telling you, I never could have got her to do that. Just so you know. You know, I like classes, you know, like the creative process and the lectures. You know, my favorite quote, I think I was given a wine glass with that quote on it. Because I said it all the time. Principle is not bound by precedent. You know, I think of that saying whenever someone tells me that I can't do something, or that it's never been done before. Can't do that. Who could do that? Isn't that wonderful phrase to have on hand just for those moments? Principle is not bound by precedent. Doesn't matter what, I mean, could you imagine the inventions that we would not have today if anyone believed the opposite, that, oh, you can't do that, it's never been done before. It took a while, probably. Now it's going so fast, we can't even keep up with the inventions. At least I can't. You know, life does not happen to you, it happens for you. Eric Butler said that. And it's just a reminder that we have the power to rewrite, reinterpret, reinvent ourselves and our lives. So even when something heinous or traumatic occurs, it is hard, but it can still happen. Because we have at our core the same power that keeps the planets in orbit, that allows the sun to shine, the grass to grow, and it is breathing itself as you and me right now. You know, with the power that's applied to the Science of Mind teaching that we teach here at the Science of Mind Church, Las Vegas Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas Center for Spiritual Living, Southern Nevada Center for Spiritual Living, Centers for Spiritual Living all over the world. We realize that we don't need to continually play victim. You know, that broken record that once was, oh, I once was this, oh, I once did that. So, okay, let's do this. You know, I'm often reminded all the time that we have an awesome philosophy and teaching. Now, I don't know if Ray studied the Science of Mind textbook, but he did have a Bible under his bed. And he got it. He understood that he was a choice, that he could create something different for himself. He would not have survived 30 years otherwise. I'm convinced. And I'm sure he is too. You know, I like the way it says he came up with the title of the book, The Sun Does Shine. I guess when he came out, when they released him, and that was his first thought, that the sun does shine. This man was in a 5x8 cell for 30 years. I cannot imagine that. Even in the darkest nights, he said, the sun does shine. The sun never goes away. It is only due to our perception based upon where we are on this planet and in life that we are able to see, feel, and experience the light. But keeping in mind that we now have an opportunity to put that practice in a new or a deeper way because of this philosophy, this teaching, awakens that light in each of us. It did so at teen camp. 324 teens, 79 advisors. Okay? Like Charlie said, even though they created a world at camp, they made a promise to their higher selves that they would spread that light, that love. How else, I don't know how else we could do it. But I'm telling you, we have a gift here at the center. We have a teaching and a philosophy that can transcend all the BS belief systems. So this is just a practical teaching and philosophy, and it changes lives. We hear stories every week. I wish I would write those down. It reaps rewards, it bears fruit, it moves mountains, it feeds the multitudes. Don't you think? We're and I can't believe we're still surprised. But it's not that we're surprised, that we're just in awe, that all we're doing is what we're calling our ministry. And when we hear that it's actually working, even if it's just one person this month that says anything, it's an awesome feeling. I'm telling you, it would be an awesome feeling if it's only one person this entire year whose life I may have touched. Or Reverend Stacy. That's why we're doing the fundraiser. We believe that we want to share us and our teaching with the community at large, not just this community. As much as I love you all, we, like the teens, we want to spread it. We want to get it out. We don't want to be a well-kept secret. We want to tell people they have a choice, that they can choose different. They don't have to believe or go by what they were told. They can decide for themselves. Well, what else do I have to say to you? Peace, love, and blessings, and one day at a time. Whoever said that, thank you. One light at a time. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here.
I've wanted to sing this song for a couple of years, and I just waited. And now I know what I waited for. It is wild. I don't know if you apply it like I did and what I was thinking, but this band's name is Switchfoot. This song was in many movies. It's a beautiful song, and it's called Dare You to Move. Welcome to existence. Everyone's here. Everyone's here. Everyone's watching you now. Everybody's waiting for you now. What happens next? What happens next? Dare you to move, dare you to move, dare you to lift yourself off of the floor, dare you to move, to resistance. Tension is here. Tension is here between who you are and who you could be. Between how it is and how it should be. Yeah. Dare you to move. I dare you to move. Dare you to pick yourself off of the floor. Dare you to move. Dare you to move. Like today never happened. Today never happened. Maybe redemption is stories to tell. Maybe forgiveness is right where you fell. Where can you run to escape from yourself? Where you gonna go? Where you gonna go? Salvation is here. Yeah, right here. Oh, yeah. I dare you to move. Dare you to move. I dare you to lift yourself. Just lift yourself up off the floor. Dare you to move. I dare you to move. Like today never happened. Like today never happened. Like today never happened. Like today never
Okay, good morning. Okay, give me a second. So today we talked about integrity and being kind. And choices, yeah. And so we read a couple of these things, and there's two things I'm going to read to you that really touched me and that are really important to me, and I want to tell you why. The first thing is, you may not think you make a difference to anyone else in the world, but to someone you make a world of a difference, and the author is unknown. And then the next one is to invite someone who sits alone to have lunch with you or to play a game. Your small act of kindness could make a difference. And this is really important to me because I've known a lot of people who've been troubled, not troubled, but who've had a lot of trouble in their life. And to do this, I feel would have been very important to do. So I feel it's very important that this message is spread out and not just taken as a thing that people just say, be kind.
And so it is. So that's kind of what Charlie was saying too. You know, everybody's somebody, whether they know it or not. Cool. Love it, love it, love it. All right, she's already up here. Well, I said, I know. Any visiting ministers or practitioners, please come forward. I'd like to ask our ministry of prayer team to come forward as well. What was that? I get left out. And Gary, I forgive you for not quoting me today. You know, this is kind of a new thing for me, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure.
They don't know. You know, if you would please stand and connect, I'll do a benediction. And I also want to, I want us to hold in prayer the Stefano's little student, Josie, are you leaving today? You're leaving tonight. We've loved having you here. We really have. We were going to miss you a lot. Safe travels, safe travels. All right. Let's just take a deep breath. And just know with me that, like Taya said, like Charlie said, that we are all light in action. And you know, we can spread that light to each and every person we meet. I know Josie has spread her light around here for the last few months, and we are certainly going to miss her, and we know that she travels safely and she moves forward in her next endeavor, because she'll always be in our hearts. And I know that today we all remember that we are at choice. No matter what takes place in your life, no matter how devastating or unforgivable, you're still at choice. I know I say it every week to my niece, Alana. And one day I know that she's going to believe me. Just as I know one day you all will believe me. But if you don't believe the children, then shame on you. Anyway, I know that everyone gets to the next destination safely and soundly, and they enjoy their week of choice, by choice. And I'm just grateful for it all. And together, let's just say, and so it is. Woo! Let's sing our peace song.